What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ascalon, and today I'm going to talk about my 10 most anticipated games for 2024. Let's go. It seems that lately we've been seeing a lot of games that have been remade, and that's a beautiful thing. We've gotten a Dead Space remake, remakes of several Resident Evil games. Several of the games coming out in 2024 are also remakes, and I'm excited about them. The first one I want to talk about is Alone in the Dark. It is a reimagining of the 1992 game. The remake is going to have the third person over the shoulder perspective, which I love, as opposed to the fixed camera angles from the original game. The game follows two characters, Emily Hartwood, played by Jodie Comer, and private investigator Edward Carnby, played by my boy David Harbour, who plays probably one of my favorite characters in the Stranger Things Netflix series. The two of them team up to investigate the disappearance of Jeremy Hartwood, Emily's uncle.
He has this juju necklace guarding him.
You mean this talisman?
Just like it.
A horror adventure game, the game has plenty of monsters for slaying and puzzles for solving.
What a peculiar lock.
If you want an early taste of the game, there's a 10-minute prologue called Grace in the Dark, which is available in the PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam digital stores. In the prologue, you play as an 11-year-old girl named Grace who is delivering a letter. The prologue delivers an ample amount of tension that hopefully the full game will provide, and I'm so excited to get to play this game in March when it comes out. Keeping the horror genre going is the second game on my list, Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden. This game is being developed by Don't Nod, the developers of the first two Life is Strange games, so you know the story in this game will be deep and emotional. Players take on the role of a pair of 17th century colonial ghost hunters named Red McWraith and Antia Duarte, who are investigating a haunted community called New Eden. It seems like early on in the game, Antia will die and become a spirit. That means players get to use weapons when they play as Red, but then spirit abilities when they play as Antia. Apparently your choices can influence the game, but in what ways? I hope this is done well and that the choices are meaningful, because games where you can make choices but you find out later that your choices don't matter can definitely ruin the game's story. With this next game, we're going to move into the realm of fantasy. Dragon's Dogma 2. 12 years. 12 long years we have waited for a sequel to Dragon's Dogma, an action RPG hack and slash game that was surprisingly good. One thing I liked about the original game was the fact that your playable character is accompanied by pawns, characters who provide advice and support. I also enjoyed the fact that you could grapple and climb on enemies. That was so much fun. In Dragon's Dogma 2, players are once again thrust into the role of the Arisen, a hero marked by a dragon that the Arisen must defeat. The Arisen is also caught in the middle of a conflict between two kingdoms. And in this game, the pawns return. Yes! In this game, there are vocations, classes of varying abilities and equipment for the Arisen and pawns to use. Each vocation has its own strengths and weaknesses. The game is open world, boasting a map that is said to be 4 times larger than the map in the first game. So if you're interested in playing this game, make sure you set aside a huge chunk of time to dedicate to it. It's going to take a while. Number 4 on my list is Dustborn. The art style of Dustborn reminds me so much of Borderlands, which was instantly enough to hook me. But then I found out that Quantic Dream was also involved in the game. I was like, take my money right now. Take it. Go ahead. Take my money. I have loved everything that Quantic Dream has put out since 2005 when I played a game called Fahrenheit, also known as Indigo Prophecy. The main character of Dustborn, Pax, apparently has the ability to turn words into power. No, literally. Her words are weapons.
Leave my music alone. Shut the hell up.
Pax and her crew are traveling across an America controlled by a dictatorship in this narrative-driven game that seems really cool, but will probably also hit you in the feels. Number 5, EA Sports College Football. NCAA Football 14 was the last college football game in the EA Sports NCAA series. It has enjoyed continued success thanks to the college football revamp mod that has kept the game up to date each year with the changing rosters, team logos, stadiums, and the introduction of the college football playoff. With the new football game constantly being delayed, the ongoing development of the NIL rule, the debate concerning whether or not college athletes should be paid, and the fact that the game will be using the same Frostbite engine as Madden, is anyone excited for this game? I personally have been looking forward to it since it was announced in 2021. I've been enjoying playing college football revamp, but I'm also looking forward to a college football game with updated graphics. EA's Vice President Daryl Holt said in an interview last year with ESPN that a development team separate from Madden is working on the game, and that they intend to not make it a clone of Madden. So take that however you want to, but I'm hoping they manage to capture the college atmosphere in ways that I loved in the old NCAA games. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan. I've played a little of some of the games in the past, and slowly I've been getting more and more into the Final Fantasy series, thanks to playing Final Fantasy XIV online with my buddy Tokes, and the Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out a few years ago. Rebirth is the sequel to the remake game, and it's the second installment of a planned trilogy remaking the famous 1997 game, which I need to go back and play one day. The visuals in Rebirth look stunning, and I'm not one who cares a whole lot about graphics. Give me a fun game with an awesome story and gameplay mechanics and I'm good. If the game looks beautiful too, then that's just an added bonus. In Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, players once again control Cloud Strife, who in my opinion is one of the coolest video game protagonists of all time. Cloud and his party must travel across the planet to stop the mega corporation Shinra from exploiting its life essence. They must also defeat the as-coolest Cloud antagonist, Sephiroth, who plans to achieve godlike powers by uniting with the planet. I'm sure this game will live up to the hype like its predecessor did, which sold over 3.5 million copies in its first 3 days after launch, and I can't wait to play Rebirth. Lucky number 7 on my list is Foam Stars. Foam Stars seems to be Sony's attempt at a fun and quirky cartoon shooter like Nintendo's Splatoon and the super popular Fortnite, and I'm all for it. First of all, Foam Stars is being developed by Square Enix, who needs no introduction thanks to their impressive resume of video games. Second of all, Foam Party! Players use foam in the game to build vantage points and terrain, defend from enemy attacks, and traverse around the map quickly. How freaking cool is that? The game has a cast of colorful characters taking part in a foam smash tournament with their own unique foam gun and skill set. Oh, and did I mention foam? Number 8 is Hades 2. The first Hades game looks really cool to me. It's a roguelike game, a genre of games I've been getting more and more into lately, thanks to Slay the Spire, where you play as Zagreus, the son of Hades, as he attempts to escape from the Underworld and reach Mount Olympus. But sadly, I've never played it. It is near the top of my backlog, and I hope to play it really soon. So why did I include the sequel on this list when I haven't even played the first game yet? Because Hades 2 looks just as amazing as the first game, and has given me a reason to leapfrog the first game to the tip top of my backlog list. In the game, you will play as Zagreus' sister Melinoe, who enters the Underworld to defeat Kronos, the Titan of Time, who has escaped prison and captured Hades in an attempt to wage war against Olympus. And early access to the game will launch in Q2 of this year, so expect it at some point this summer or early fall. I don't know when the full game will be released, but at least it gives me some time to complete Hades first. Only 2 more games remaining, and the next one is Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Another remake makes my list because I'm always excited to see old games receiving the love and care that they deserve, and then released on modern consoles with all the technical enhancements that come with those consoles. Mario vs. Donkey Kong made my list simply because it looks cool, and it's hopefully another reason I can use to convince my wife that I finally need to purchase a Nintendo Switch. As if Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe weren't enough to convince her already. The game looks gorgeous with its 3D models as opposed to pre-rendered sprites from the original game on the GBA. 2 new worlds called Merry Mini Land and Slippery Summit have also been added. With this remake, Nintendo is clearly trying to capitalize on the success of the recent Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I don't mind it one bit. And finally, that brings us to the last game on my list, Skull and Bones. It's a pirate game set during the late 17th century, which is said to be the peak of the golden age of piracy. Players take control of a customizable pirate ship and may choose to sail the Indian Ocean alone in a single-player campaign or with 5 other player allies in PvP gameplay. The one downside to this game is the dreaded microtransactions, which I'm not a fan of. Since the game is not free to play, I wonder what those microtransactions will entail, as Ubisoft has not given much info about them yet. But the game looks so cool, and it can be completed solo, so maybe microtransactions won't really come into play for me. It's going to be so much fun to be a pirate in this game. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. And you know if I can do it, I'm going to create Jack Sparrow as my playable character.
Right then. I confess. It is my intention to commandeer one of these ships, pick up a crew and Tortuga, raid, pillage, plunder, and otherwise pilfer my Weasley black guts out.
Well, there you go. My 10 most anticipated games for 2024. If you like this video, please hit that like button so more people can have the chance to see it. And if you're liking the content on my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, drop me a comment below. Let me know what are some of your most anticipated games for 2024. I would love to discuss them with you. I'm dropping all of my social media sites on the screen right now in case you're interested. I will see you guys in another video, whatever video that may be. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend some time with your boy Ascalon, and I greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Peace.